Hello viewers, welcome you all back to our channel. Apologies for this long gap. We were not able to make videos due to little health conditions. Now we are back with the punch. Now the topic that we are going to discuss for today's video is usage of dollar symbol in Excel. And the proper usage of dollar symbol can elevate you from a beginner level to the next level. You can write complex formulas and you can save more time using this proper usage of dollar symbol. Right, let's look into 3 examples for today's video, and in each example I'm going to explain you one specific scenario. So the first example that we have taken for today's video is calculating cumulative sum using sum formula. So here I'm just going to calculate the sum of all the previous intervals. Let's start doing that. I'm going to write the sum formula, sum of this to this, B3 to B4, right, and this gives me value as 60. Right, it doesn't consider the values that it doesn't consider the non-number values, so the value is 60. Now I'm going to drag this formula down and I'm going to see what happens. So here alone I got 60, but I got 120 for all the other values, whereas it should be 120, then 180, 240, 300, 360. That should be the output, but it is not the case. It is just 120 everywhere. So where it went wrong? Let's look into the formula. So for the first one we have written sum of B3 to B4, right? So it has summed up all the values between this, and when it comes here it should be summing up all the values from B3 to B5. Instead the formula automatically got changed to B4 to B5. Same as the case here. It should be B3 to B6. Instead it is B5 to B6. Alright, so how can we get this one fixed? Not to get this one fixed, we must log the first reference. Locking in the sense, when you drag the formula, it should not get modified. The first reference should not get modified. It should be always B3. That is, it should be there at the B3. So I am going to put dollar in front of 3, which says that it should log the reference through the formula. Now let's drag this formula. Perfect. So here you got the result. Now look into this formula, sum of B3 to B5, B3 to B6, 7, 9. Right, so that's the perfect way to use dollar symbol for a vertical example. Now let's move on to the next horizontal example. Okay, in this second example I have made it even more simpler for you. Find position of columns in a set of data. Assume you have a table like this. Okay, I have not filled with the data because here we are not going to deal with the data, but we are going to deal with the position. Now assume I have a requirement to find the position of quarter, the column quarter in this table. Now the formula goes like this: columns of this to this, A3 to B3. Let's see. So here I get the value as 2. Now what happens if I drag this one for the position? I'm expected to get the value as 2, but again here the problem, I'm expected to get the value as 3, and the problem is here I got the value as 2. Reason is, when you drag the formula, Excel has reset the starting reference. Here if you look here, it starts from A3 to B3. Again when it comes here it should be A3 to C3, but the starting reference got reset to B3 automatically. So now to avoid this, we are going to log the starting reference again, but this time since it is in the horizontal way, we are going to log the alphabet. We are going to put dollar in front of A. instead of 3. Now let's drag this. Perfect. So now you got the value, right value and expected value. So now you are written with A3 to C3. So that's how you apply the dollar symbol for a vertical and also for an horizontal example. Now we are going to make it little more complicated with the new example. Okay, so here comes our third example, and we are going to add little more complexity to the previous examples. Here I have the cities and their quarter sales. Now I need to arrange the cities in the right position, position 1 to 5 based on descending order for each quarter. Now we have to write one single formula that's going to fit in all the cells. That's the requirement. Keep in mind, one single formula to fit in all the cells. Let's start writing this. I can go for the dynamic array formulas, but I'm not going to use that, because if you use dynamic arrays, you may face problems while dragging the formulas. But let's go for the classic method. I'm going to use index of which array? It's quarter 1 sales. Let's use this quarter 1 sales, comma, row number 1. So let's start in simple way. Right, so I got 146, 36, etc. Let me drag this. I got the same values as this. So good. Now let's add sorting function to this. Sort B2 to B6 and then pick the first one. So that's my requirement, and I'm going to do this sort in the descending order. Alright, so perfect. Now I got the value as 46. Let me drag this formula. Let's see what happens. Ideally, expected result should be 46, 36, 26 and then 13 and 1. This is the expected formula. But let's see where it went wrong. So for the first cell, it looks fine. Sorting of B2 to B6, that is B2 to B6, and then that's in the descending order, and then we have picked the first element alone. What happened here? It should be again B2 to B6, but it turned on to B3 to B7. This is not the expected way. So let's do one thing. Let us go back and make changes here. B2 to B6. I am locking B2 and B6 reference. Perfect. Now let's do one thing. Let's apply the formula. Right. So again, it's all everywhere 46. Instead, it should be 46, 36, 26, something like that. What's the reason? If you look into all the formulas, here we have the value as 1, row number as 1. It should be, here it should be 2, it should be 3 here, and it should be 4. But this is not the best practice to write the numbers in a hard-coded way. Instead, let's go for the dynamic method as usual. Rows of H22 to H2, and that gives you value 1 here. Now it's rows of H2 to H2. Let me apply this. Again, it got reset. It should be H2 to H3, H2 to H4, H2 to H5. Now let's add log reference for 2 also here. Now let's apply this. Perfect. 46, 36, 26, 13 and 1. We got the values sorted here. Now let's do another level, sort by. Now I don't need the numbers, instead I need the city names. So what do I need in the sorted by? I need the cities sorted A2 to A6 and sorted by B2 to B6. So that's my requirement. I think perfect. Now let's just make little adjustments to the formula. I think that's it. Perfect. So Berlin, we got Berlin here. Berlin, Amsterdam, 0 0. What is this 0 0? And the last value should be Madrid and should not be London. So what's happening here? Let's see. Berlin, Amsterdam, and here again the references got reset. It should not be A3 to A7. Instead it should be always A2 to A6. When you start this formula here, it started with A2 to A6, A5. Okay, so actually the A column references got shifted. We are again going to fix this. So how are we going to fix this? Let us apply dollar in front of 2 and in front of 6. Perfect. Now let us apply this formula. Berlin, Munich, London, Berlin, Munich, London, Amsterdam and Madrid. Perfect. So we are done with the formula for one column. Now let's see what happens when we drag this formula to the other columns also. Okay, so something happening strange, that it should not be 26, 37 and 1. Instead it should be, who's the topper? London. Okay, so we expect London to be coming here, but what happened? It got changed to 26 and then here it changed to 37. Let's see where it actually picks the value 26 from. If you look into this 10 cells, it picks the value 26 from here, but we are expected to get London. Instead of getting London, we got 26. Okay, so let's see what happens if we apply the same formula here. 1. After London, the top value is Madrid, 37, but instead of Madrid it picks 1. So what's wrong? What's going wrong here? Problem is again locking the reference. So we have logged the reference 216, but here, since we have dragged the formula in the horizontal way also, we must log the column reference as well. So let's see what happens if I log A as well along with the numbers $A, $2 and then $A, $6. This is not going to make a huge impact here. Let's see. Perfect. London, Madrid, Munich. And another thing you need to see here, see, we have just logged A2 and A6. Instead we have not logged the B here, because B is actually directly associated with the quarter. So for the first column it should be Q1 sales, and when you drag it on to the next column it should be Q2 sales, Q3, Q4. So you actually want the quarters to be getting moved. Okay, you don't want to log the quarters. So it's absolutely fine not to log the C reference, C, and then here it's D and here it's E. It's absolutely fine not to log this, but you must log A references alone. So now I am going to, now final trick, now I just need to apply this formula for all the cells. Simple. Just just select all the cells, go to this formula bar, click on the formula bar and click, and then press Ctrl Enter. That's it, magic. So let's just verify the results. London, Munich, Berlin, London, Madrid, Berlin, and then Munich and Amsterdam. Perfect. So results look perfect. So we are done with the requirement. And through this example, what we have done was, we have not made formula changes in any other cells, but we have made all the formula changes only on just one cell, that is H2. We have made the formula changes just on this cell alone, and we have just copied this formula both vertically and horizontally, and we made it work perfectly like a charm. So I hope you would have understood this dollar concept, and it's very important to pro this dollar concept because it plays an important role in conditional formatting. So I'm going to resume the conditional formatting series along with this base tutorial. See you all in the next video. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.